What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, which could be tied together and passed as one, as well as what's going on in Washington, D.C., and what is going on with our country today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. I will keep you updated on everything stimulus related and important information going on with our country. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, don't forget to like this video. It really helps out our channel. Lawmakers in the House of Representatives today unveiled a major bipartisan antitrust reform that could reshape Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, and other tech companies. As you can see here, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google could be forced to overhaul their business practices under an expansive set of antitrust reforms introduced by a bipartisan group of House lawmakers. The package of 5 bills would make it harder for dominant platforms to complete mergers and prohibit them from owning business lines that present clear conflicts of interest. The measures will come in wake of a lengthy investigation by the House Judiciary Subcommittee on antitrust in the 4 companies that was completed last year. This comes as President Biden and the Democrats want to force large corporations like this to pay much more taxes than they're paying now because of headlines like this. 55 of the largest corporations in the S&P 500 paid $0 in federal tax amid billions of dollars in profit in 2020 alone. Amazon paid $0 in taxes on $11.2 billion in profits last year. And as you can see here, from 2009 to 2018, they only paid an effective tax rate of 3% on all of their profits, totaling over $26 billion. You can see the amount of their profits here in blue and their taxes that they paid here in orange or yellow. They actually paid negative taxes in the last, in 2017 and 2018, I believe. And yeah, the government wants to force companies like this to pay more taxes so that they're actually paying some type of taxes. Could you imagine making $11 billion with a B, not like Mitch with an M? Could you imagine making $11 billion in profit and paying $0 in federal taxes? But yeah, that's what happens. 55 of the Fortune 500 companies paid $0 in taxes, and hundreds of others paid little to no taxes, less than 10%. This is one thing that President Biden wants to change. He has 2 different proposals. One, to raise the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. Although that might not be that effective, because even though the corporate tax rate's at 21%, these corporations still pay little to no taxes because of tax loopholes and write-offs and rebates and tax incentives that they have, all sorts of creative accounting, right? Now, the other thing they're considering doing is raising or having a minimum tax rate for corporations that make over $1 billion a year would have to pay a minimum tax of 15% no matter what. So no matter your tax loopholes or creative accounting or whatever it is, you're going to pay 15% minimum. That would shore up a lot of money for things like stimulus packages, infrastructure packages, stimulus checks, Medicare reform, Social Security increases, and more. And it would be an ongoing thing, right? It would be a thing where they make billions of dollars more every single year and do what President Biden says, or what he calls that companies and the wealthy should pay their, quote, fair share. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Do you think this is something that should be done? Or do you think that companies should just be left on their own with the way the tax system is now? Because some people think that the more corporations make, the more they can hire, the more they can put back into the economy, and vice versa. So there's a couple different ways of kind of thinking. President Biden's way of thinking is he wants to raise taxes on them to make them pay more in taxes. So we'll have to see if that happens, because Republicans are completely against that. Even some Democrats are against, a couple Democrats are against raising taxes at all. But again, that's kind of where the compromise and the negotiation comes into play. My wife just said in the background her opinion is she thinks large corporations like this that make over $1 billion should have to pay something. She said maybe like 10% or so. Remember, there is that 15% minimum that they're considering doing. If they can pass it, and that's where it comes down to. I mean, Republicans are like against almost all tax raises. Republicans are for what they call use taxes, like a gas tax that would be on gasoline, because the way they look at it is that if you use the infrastructure, like the roads and the bridges, airports, etc., then you need gasoline. So you pay an additional tax on gasoline, which would make gasoline even higher than it is now. And it would be a use tax because you'd be using the roads. Now, a lot of people are kind of against tax hikes when it pertains to them. So if gas prices go up, people are like, oh, they don't want to do that, right? But if it's tax somebody else, like tax the wealthy or tax the corporation, it's funny how you see like in polling that people are more for that. Whenever there's a tax raise, as long as it doesn't affect that person, they're kind of a little bit more for it. But if it affects them, like they have to pay higher gas prices to pay for the roads and bridges, it seems like nobody ever wants a tax hike like that because, well, as long as the tax hike is for somebody else, right? Then people happen to be more for it. If they happen to be the ones paying the tax hike, well, then it does never seem to be a popular opinion. Let me know your thoughts on that. Now, the Democrats are crafting their own budget reconciliation plans behind the scene. We had Senator Bernie Sanders here. We showed him on the show saying this, that they are secretly, or maybe not so much of a secret, but they're behind the scenes working on their own budget reconciliation plans if they don't get Republican support to pass and combine the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, and the next infrastructure package back together as one plan called the Build Back Better plan, which is exactly how it started. President Biden split them up as the infrastructure package and the next stimulus package because they're both around $2 trillion. The infrastructure package has been whittled down because, well, Republicans tend to want to spend less on pretty much every bill, stimulus packages, infrastructure package. They always kind of want to spend around $1 trillion and not really more than that. That seems to be their line in the sand. They care about the the national deficit and how much the government's spending, all that stuff. Democrats seem to want to spend more. They just want to spend more, 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 more. And we've seen this with the third stimulus check package, where even though the package was less, it was 1.9 trillion. Former President Trump's first package was 2.3 trillion. We've seen the largest stimulus checks yet to date of $1,400 for children, which was more than double what we've seen before, and $1,400 for adult dependents and college students who didn't even receive a stimulus check, as well as those child tax credits increased from when former President Trump raised them to $2,000. President Biden now raised them to $3,000 per year per child for children ages 6 through 17 and $3,600 for children under the age of 6. The child tax credit has been going on for 23 years now. So it's not exactly a new concept, but it is tending to increase every few years. And the Democrats and the IRS are going to be sending out monthly stimulus checks of $250 to $300 per month per child starting on July 15th. However, the infrastructure package could really go one of a couple different ways right now. Number one is that President Biden has given up on the negotiations with the Republicans. He just couldn't get them up high enough. They're at just under $1 trillion. And then, since then, President Biden basically called on Congress to form their own infrastructure parties to bipartisan Republicans and Democrats. And this group from the Senate, about 10 different people from the Senate, have reached a deal, at least amongst themselves. And the important part here is Senator Joe Manchin, the thorn in the side of the Democrats, is part of this group, along with Kirsten Sinema and Mitt Romney from the Republicans. And they have come to a deal amongst themselves. And we'll have to see if the leaders, mainly Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and President Biden, will sign off on this and go for this about $1 trillion to $1.2 trillion package. However, only about half of the money, about $600 billion of it is new money, and $600 billion of it is actually taken from the old stimulus money. If you've been watching this channel, you'll know that there's $2 trillion of stimulus money from all the past packages. Remember, former President Trump passed 5 packages. 2 of them have stimulus checks, but 5 in total, and 1 passed by President Biden. 6 packages. There's actually $2 trillion still available from that for various different funds, all kind of combined together, that has not been spent yet. Republicans want to take $600 billion of that. In fact, when they were negotiating before, it was actually higher than that. The bipartisan group kind of negotiated that down through negotiations. And Republicans still want to take $700 billion of that old money and use it for the infrastructure package. So there's not really a lot of new money there. Democrats want all new money. They want that 1 point whatever trillion dollars is going to probably end up being to be all new money. There's another group from the Problem Solvers Caucus, which is more people in the negotiations. They're at around $1.4 trillion. I could see President Biden being more willing to go with that, but we'll have to see. If President Biden doesn't go with either of those and they can't negotiate a deal, then they're going to have to combine them and pass them through the reconciliation process, which is what they're working on right now behind the scenes. And that is where we will see another stimulus check. As you know, we have dozens of Democratic lawmakers pushing for a 4th stimulus check or even monthly recurring stimulus checks. President Biden has really changed his tune here over the last few days, and he is now apparently open to a 4th stimulus check right now. And President Biden has gone to the G7 conference and called for, along with getting all of his representatives, or I should say all the other country representatives there, to call for more stimulus to be passed around the world, showing President Biden's need and wants for more stimulus to be passed. Now, in addition to this, other Democratic leaders, like Bernie Sanders, say, we must take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry and allow Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices and save taxpayers some $600 billion. We can then use those savings to expand Medicare to cover dental, vision, hearing aids, and lower the eligibility age to age 60. And this can be paid for simply by forcing pharmaceutical companies to give us prescription drug prices for the same prices that they give other countries. Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal, who is the leader of the Democratic Progressive Caucus, says this is broken, a for-profit system at its worst. This policy will force people to delay or outright refuse necessary care and could cost lives. Enough with the greed. We need Medicare for all. She also goes on to say that 2 in 3 people on Medicare don't have dental coverage. It's cruel when seniors need hearing, dental, and vision care, and millions of people can't afford it. It's time for a change. Hearing, vision, and dental are healthcare, and Medicare should cover it all. These are some of the things they want to include in the next stimulus package, is an expansion of Medicare to include hearing, dental, as you can see here, hearing, dental, and vision, including hearing aids, and lower the Medicare eligibility age to as low as age 60 or age 55. Democrats would like Medicare for all, as you can see here. However, they're probably not going to be able to pass that right now, so they're probably just going to go with lowering the Medicare eligibility age, which would include millions more Americans, likely to age 60 or age 55. And prescription drug prices continue to increase year after year, vastly outpacing inflation. In fact, a new Alzheimer drug that is $56,000 a year would have a Medicare copay of $11,500 annually, which is what some seniors actually make per year, let alone be able to afford just this one potential life-saving drug that is an Alzheimer drugs, and would raise Medicare premiums broadly. And some patients who are prescribed the medication could face copayments of over $11,000 per year. There is a bill floating around Congress right now called the Lower Drug Costs Now Act, floating around Congress right now to allow Medicare to negotiate these prices and force pharmaceutical companies that they must give us the lowest price that they give to any other country. This would not only save seniors and anybody on Medicare, along with possibly other people, lower prescription drug prices, because if they sell the same prescription to Canada or Australia or any other country, right, then they would be forced to give it to the United States for the same cost. They couldn't sell insulin for $9 a vial to Canada or to the United Kingdom and sell it to the United States for $95 a vial. But yet that is what actually happens right now because, well, they're allowed to. The Senate is also crafting their own Nancy Pelosi alternative or House Representatives alternative on drug prices. As you can see here, Senate Democrats are crafting their own proposals to lower prescription drug prices, an alternative to Speaker Nancy Pelosi's plan, amid doubts on whether the far-reaching House bill can get all 50 Senate Democrats on board and possibly included in one of these next two packages. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, is taking the lead in working on this proposal, but Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's staff has also been meeting with outside groups and is engaged on the issue, according to people familiar with the conversation. This flurry of activity indicates that lowering prescription drug prices is a top priority for Democrats and could be included in an upcoming legislation package along with President Biden's priorities on infrastructure and other issues in the American Jobs Plan, which is the infrastructure package, and the American Families Plan, which is the next stimulus package. But the party will need to figure out how to bridge the divide between their progressive and moderate wings on these prescription prices, given that they cannot lose a single Senate vote on party line votes and when they pass through the reconciliation process. Let me know if you have expensive prescriptions, how much they cost, and imagine if that price was lowered by 50% or more. This bill alone could end up saving millions of Americans hundreds of dollars per month, depending on how much they pay for medicine. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope that this will be something that we will see passed here in this year, possibly in this next one or two packages, along with a forced stimulus check or even the monthly recurring forced stimulus checks. I also will be having a big update here for you guys here within the next few videos on number one, state stimulus checks, county stimulus checks, and other stimulus programs on the state level we're going to be going over here in the next few videos, as well as a big Social Security and retirement update that's going over Social Security increases, retirement plans that Congress is currently working on right now. There's some new developments going over this, and I will be covering this here within the next few videos. So remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss an episode. If you want to, subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And after subscribing, click the bell icon that appears to all notifications so you get reminder notifications when we go live with those times. Also, you can share this video down below with your friends and family. Remember, I'll have those two important videos coming up, so you won't want to miss them. So you can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I've had dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.